How's it going, guys? My name is Kro, and today in Grow Garden in Roblox, it's Sunday morning, which means it is time for us to do our pet trading tier list with real-world values to figure out what is worth anything and what is worth nothing. I've made some changes to the list. I have added every single divine pet to the list because I know a lot of you are carrying divine pets and you just want to know, if I've got a space squirrel, can I at least go and get a griffin? And we're going to learn that in this video, as well as all the new values for all the newest pets based off of real world values online. So if your goal is to trade up this list to maybe perhaps one day acquire a raccoon or acquire a kitsune or acquire something above that, you want to know how things are valued in real world value because that is how they value things at the top of this list. Starting off with the dragonfly, which is all the way down in E tier. Now, I've made a slight shift to the tiers. I moved the raccoon up so that I can have more space to do things. I did not want to add another level to the tier, so I just shifted things a little bit. The dragonfly is in the D tier. It has been hatched like crazy. We're constantly getting eggs in this game. It's no longer very valuable. It used to be iconic. Now it's just the same as pretty much every other pet in the game. The regular squirrel is a C tier pet. It is actually still quite valuable. It is still trading quite well. People are still trying to acquire as many squirrels as possible for the squirrel method. It's just a really good pet overall. The kappa has been very effective with the release of the battle pass, applying wet to a bunch of things to farm the battle pass rather effectively. So it does have some trading value right now. It's there in the D tier. The echo frog is also in the C tier. It is a bottom of C tier pet. People who need echo frogs love them. They are very good. A lot of people also want to go for the Titanic Echo Frog. That's a whole different story. After that, we have the Corrupted Kitsune, who is down here in the E tier. It's really odd to see that the Corrupted Kitsune and the Dragonfly are worth roughly the same. It's not because the Kitsune has gone up. It's because the Dragonfly has come down. The French Fry Ferret, top of D tier. As I've described before, if you have a French Fry Ferret and he's a heavy French Fry Ferret, he's worth a bit more. If you can make him rainbow, he's worth quite a bit more. So something to keep in mind if you have some. Spinosaurus is maintaining its value. It is a B tier pet. Remember, I did say I was adjusting the position of the tiers. Nothing has gone up or down in terms of actual value. I've just changed the tiers so that you can understand the differences between the tiers a bit better. Spinosaurus, still very effective. Best dino in the game. Rarest dino in the game. It's fantastic. Moving on to the Pachycephalosaurus. I'm not going to list it as of right now. If you're part of the Watch Squad, go ahead and comment down below and mention the Watch Squad and say something about the Watch Squad. Watch Squad members will know that Pachycephalosaurus is not being ranked right now because we really have no need for it. There's no demand for the Pachy. There's no crafting in the game right now worth note. So people aren't really worried about it or interested in it. If we get a situation in the future where we can craft pets, craft eggs, craft chests, it'll be valuable again and demand again. The Disco Bee is in the top of A tier, has gone down a little bit. It's relatively valuable still. I mean, still quite valuable. It's actually pretty equal to the Fennec. Where's the Fennec Fox? These two are almost dead equal in value now. There was a time the Disco Bee was worth much more, but they're basically worth roughly the same right now. Queen Bee is down in the D tier. It is in the middle of D tier. It has a pretty cool effect. Its effect is often not able to be used on many of the newest pets with their effects. The developers are very careful, not allowing the Queen Bee to be too broken, so it's there in the D tier. The Bald Eagle is roughly down here as well in the D tier. Still the best egg hatcher in the game, still in demand. The supply will not increase. It was a store pet, so we have a limited supply, and it is still the best egg hatching pet in the game, bar none. Don't talk to me about blood kiwis. Bald Eagle clears, especially for those of us who have 10, 11, 12, 13 egg slots on the field. The Golden Goose is cooked down here at the bottom of E tier. It has some trade value. People do like divines. That's why I put all the divines on this list, because a lot of people in public trading servers do love to trade divines. They love divine pets, but not all divine pets are equal, as we've discovered while playing this game. Butterfly is in the top of B tier. Butterfly is fantastic. Butterfly is pretty much dead equal to Spinosaurus. Actually, they are dead equal together. Butterfly and Spinosaurus are the same. It's still like 2 butterflies to a Disco Bee, therefore 2 Spinosauruses to a Disco Bee right now. Brontosaurus is a D tier pet, pretty much equal with the Queen Bee right now. If you want Brontosauruses, you're going to need 3 or 4 or 5 of them, depending on the sizes and stuff like that, depending on rainbow and stuff like that. So we do have some demand, and the supply is low because of the seal method. Lobster. Rock Lobster is a D tier pet, got a fantastic effect, but it did have a pretty big supply. T-Rex is a top of C tier pet. It is 2 T-Rexes to a Spinosaurus. That is the relationship. 2 T-Rexes to a Spinosaurus is pretty much a fair trade. The Griffin is like one of the worst pets in the game. It is so insignificant. You need multiple griffins to get to a golden goose. I repeat, in real world value online, you need multiple griffins to get to a golden goose. Yep. Yep. No one cares about the griffin. Oh man, that first sip of coffee hits so good. The Raiju is a D tier pet with an asterisk. And the asterisk is it doesn't have any demand. No one is trading to acquire the Raiju. So it's there, but it has no demand. Ascended pets are worth less than a fennec fox right now, but still more than the butterfly. Also, very low demand, very hard to trade. Don't trade to acquire these to move up the trading tier lists. If you happen to mutate one, congratulations, enjoy your free win. I am personally willing to trade an ascended pet that I just hatched, just mutated. I'm willing to acquire a butterfly for it and just call it a day. Space Squirrel is an E tier pet, roughly worth a golden goose right now. Good pet. Void Touch, great effect. We do get that a lot on admin mutations. Have you guys noticed that the admin events are like above and beyond and they're overkill? Like it's 7 weathers going on at once. So all these pets that do admin weathers, like what's the point? Red Panda is down here worth like 2 griffins. It's just not that desirable of a divine. It's cute, it's cuddly, it's down there. Blood Owl is still a highly sought after leveling method for pets. Even though the Wisp is superior, I think it's because people realize they require Wisp wells and not a lot of people went and got the Wisp well. So the Wisp doesn't have that kind of demand. Maybe some content creator needs to make a piece of content demonstrating the power of the Wisp to get people to go, oh yeah, the Wisp is quite good. But as of now, everyone just automatically defaults to the Blood Owl. Huge pets. Huge pets are bottom of B tier minimum. Your most common of common huge pet is a bottom of B tier pet minimum. After that, they go into the stratosphere depending on the size and the pet. But as a minimum, that's where they start. After that, do your own research. The Mimic Octopus is still worth perfectly a Tyrannosaurus Rex, which means it's 2 mimics to a butterfly, 2 butterflies to a Disco Bee. It's pretty much equal. It's a beautiful 2-to-1, 2-to-1 up the list. Isn't that wonderful? Probably won't stay that way, but that's how it is. Cockatrice, down here with the Griffin. Nobody wants it at all. Now, this green bean thing is an E tier pet. And the green bean is also a substitute, so watch squad if you're here. The green bean also means all the other brain rot pets. Lemon Lion, Peach Wasp, and the Apple Gazelle. They're all right there in the E tier, tradable with any of these low tier divine pets. The Phoenix, my favorite pet in the game, down here in the E tier as well, has a really cool effect. There's a good enough of them, and there's less players in the game, so not much value. Blood Hedgehog is barely at the bottom of D tier. There are some really good prickly plants in the game, but overall, a lot of these pets that increase the size of plants are just not that desirable because there's just so many shekels in the game. So why make big plants? There's so many shekels in the game. So like, why play the game? It's an odd thought. Blood Kiwis are also here at the bottom of D tier. You've got the bald eagle. It's just better. Red Fox, cute pet down here in the E tier. And now we get into the fun stuff. The raccoon, I'm putting in the S tier because it's not dropping in value. It hasn't dropped in value in a little while. It's held steady. Other things around it have dropped in value, but it's still quite good. 2 Disco Bees to a raccoon is now an underpay. Yep. 2 Disco Bees to a raccoon is now actually a severe underpay. You need to add a Mimic Octopus or a T-Rex to your Disco Bees to acquire the raccoon. That's what's happening here. And then the Red Kitsune, still worth more than the raccoon, but it has dropped where the raccoon has not. The raccoon, 2-to-1 to a Kitsune, severe overpay. Don't do it. If anyone in the trading discords are like, selling a Kitsune for 2 raccoons, don't do it. It's an overpay. It's an overpay to the tune of a fennec fox. You would need a Kitsune and a fennec fox to equal 2 raccoons. That is the degree of difference there is now between the 2 raccoon to Kitsune. There was a time not that long ago where it was comfortably 3 raccoons to a Kitsune or 4 raccoons to a Kitsune. And then it was at 2 raccoons to a Kitsune, dead even for the longest time. Now it's gone below that. You need to add a fennec fox as the Red Kitsune owner to acquire 2 raccoons. Moving on to some of the newer pets, the tiger is still pretty solid. I think it's because a lot of people have realized that its effect can get you random mutations like harmonized chakra, the most ridiculous thing. So it's still quite in demand. The silver dragonfly is now appropriately worth less than the dragonfly. The silver dragonfly is relatively easy to acquire for everybody who has a battle pass for free, which is everybody. and it's just worse than the dragonfly in terms of effect. So it's appropriately slotted where it probably should have been the whole time. The firefly is here in the C tier. And I don't know if that's a low demand thing, but that's where I see it. You have to go halfway through the free battle pass to get to the firefly. That's where it is. Maybe not a lot of people have gone that far into the battle pass. That's possible. That's reasonable. Just that's where it's listed. I don't know about the demand though, but that's where it is. And yet, you know what? There's got to be a demand thing because the Mizuchi is much lower. The Mizuchi is like bottom or low D tier. So what's going on with the firefly? I'm just going to assume that a lot of the people who transact in pets online in real world value and acquire these pets to trade them away for real world value do so with lots and lots and lots and lots of vaults, right? And they do it en masse like a job. And as such, they farmed up a whole bunch of Mizuchis by getting to the end of the battle pass. Perhaps they even spent Robux to acquire the Rainbow Hatch Mizuchi, hoping to trade that online for real world value. Notice the pause before I say that. Trying to find the right way to word it. Maybe they're doing that, and therefore they have a bunch of regular Mizuchis lying around as well. So the value difference online, you know what? This doesn't make sense. I can't put the firefly there if the Mizuchi is there. The only reason the firefly is there is because the people listing them online aren't bothering to list their fireflies or aren't even caring about the fireflies and are focusing on trying to transact in the Mizuchi. Because when I looked online, I found a whole boatload of people trying to transact in the Mizuchi and not a lot trying to transact in the firefly. And I think that's just an oversight by the people who own the firefly. So you know what? I'm going to bring the firefly down here with the Mizuchi at the bare minimum because I don't want to mislead you by keeping the firefly at that C tier. It doesn't make any sense. If the Mizuchi is comfortably and confidently transacting at this point, there is no excuse why the firefly should be any higher. Now, having said that, I think the firefly's ability is better than the Mizuchi's. I think it is. I think shocked is better than the Mizuchi's ability. Maybe that, you know what? I'm just going to do it, okay? I'm going to put it back. Maybe it's an ability thing. Maybe people love the ability. I do not know. I will report the values to you, and then you can decide what to do with them. Now we move on to the new pets. And this is, okay, how do I word this? Remember that thing I just described between the firefly and the Mizuchi, where people were overlooking the firefly and not even bothering to list it as they were so focused on the Mizuchi? There was a similar situation with these three first pets, these pets that come out of the chest. The values for the farmer and the values for the idol were so much significantly higher than the chinchilla that I can't list them because the only reason for this is that nobody bothered to list the farmer pet and nobody bothered to list the idle pet as they were all focused on the chinchilla. So the farmer pet is going to be unlisted. It's the common in the chest. There's a bunch floating around. No one's going to want it. The idle, I'm not going to list it. It's the uncommon in the chest. There's a bunch floating around. No one's going to want it. The chinchilla was firmly placed right here with the C tier of the Mimic and the T-Rex. People are underwhelmed by its ability. We were all so excited about the ability. I was excited about the ability, but we're realizing that its ability is not able to affect certain things, and its ability cannot be decreased by other things. So all in all, it's just not that desirable of a pet. It's really unfortunate. Expect the price to drop from here. Now, these next two pets are very difficult to place because these are available only by making an old enough Chubby Chipmunk. And very, 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 very few people have an old enough Chubby Chipmunk. As such, these are exceedingly rare right now. Exceptionally rare. Out of this world rare right now. I could only find one website that had them listed at any value. So listen to me carefully, verbally with my words. Open your ears and your eyes and everything else to listen to me. I'm going to place them on this list. Don't try to buy them or acquire them on this list at this value. They're overpriced through the moon. We're only doing this for the lulz and for the funnies. The single solitary Hyrax I could find online from the single solitary person who owned one and was transacting one had it listed over a Disco Bee. Hilarious. And then the single solitary person, who was the same person, by the way, so he must have worked like crazy to get there. The single solitary person listing this lucky squirrel listed it over the red kitsune. Isn't that hilarious? Is that their real value? No, we are days, probably multiple days away from most people acquiring these pets, and we'll know more about the real value at that time. But yeah, no. Guys, if there's something on this list that isn't on this list that you think should be because it's very useful and you notice it trades very well in the game, comment down below and let me know. If you disagree with anything on this list, go ahead. You can be wrong. That's fine. Comment down below and let me know. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and hit subscribe. Become part of the first 300K OGs on the channel. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching.